right. Hey, everybody. As always, tell me how sound sounds. And welcome to the AV Epochs live stream. I'm Dan Stacy, and you are about to witness my nerdy family and I use silly voices and a fan-made rule set, Starfinder 2nd Edition. Check the links in the description to join their Discord. A special thank you to Mart for helping us coordinate this and letting us utilize the system that a community of players and GMs have built together. So once again, really excited to try this out. We are picking up a story we did back in the winter, so don't miss Remorse Code and a Rock and a Light Rave to follow what has happened so far. And we have a special shout out to our newest supporter, Lulu, on Discord. Thank you so much, Lulu, for becoming a part of the ever-growing forest known as Avenue Studios. Each of you makes this possible, and I cannot say thank you enough. And if you want to become a part of the forest and chat with the people playing tonight and chat with all the different people from AfterQuest, which is most of us tonight, and Bomb Squad and all that stuff, do join us on Patreon or Locals. And I don't think there's any... Oh, big announcement. In August, we are shifting to our new live streaming schedule. So starting in August, AfterQuest will be every Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And then we will do our Forest Forge and our monthly supporter game with the themed collaboration with Interplanar Crossroads on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Those will be beginning and end of the month. I will, of course, have our calendar images that I post on all our social media so you can keep up with that, but that'll be the big shift. We're going to try to do this and see if we're not up late at night and still keep playing. And
children.
In August, we began, yes, with children, which we love dearly. But also, starting in August, we are testing out our multicam live stream. So we'll have a full setup here in the studio, and the whole team of AfterQuest is going to come be in person to play. So we're going to be using August to play test that out and make sure everything's working. So it's going to be really chill, but we're also going to be play testing Crucible, the alpha version of Crucible, which was created by the Foundry virtual tabletop team. So very excited to kind of just test a bunch of stuff in August, and then in September we'll pick up with our next AfterQuest campaign. So I have said enough. I'm going to switch over to everybody else. There we go. Blinked on me for a second. And most importantly, Adam, sir, thank you for being here. Where can people find you, and what are you up to?
Well, greetings and salutations, travelers, and welcome back to Avenue Studios. That's how I did it the last time, so that's how I did it this time. But the Interplanar Crossroads can be found at probably similar places that you can find Avenue Studios. Both of us have a YouTube and a Rumble, so if you want to check us out on either one of those sites, you can. As far as things specifically for the Interplanar Crossroads, we're trying to get to a $100 a month goal for ourselves so that we can make more cool stuff and do more cool things. So we're kind of maxed out on our release schedule right now without reaching that goal. So if you want to see us release more stuff, that's what needs to happen. We need to get to that. And Lord willing, once we hit that, we'll be able to devote more time and effort and things like that towards it. You can find ways to support the Interplanar Crossroads on endofplanarcrossroads.com or theiopc.com. Either one of those URLs should work, and that will give you links to the different places that you can find us at. So there you go.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I turn it now over to the good Mr. Moral Compass. Thank you, sir, for being here.
I don't have any announcements, so I reckon we should be diving right in.
Alrighty.
Alright. So, in the lone vastness of space, there's not much except the light of the stars shining upon what material is still there. However, for those who are able to pick it up, a lone message cries out, "My name is Charles Trester. We have been recovered by the beings known as the Ilphed, a long-forgotten faction of the universe. They are mad. They have killed all my friends aboard the Omega Theta of the Tiberius sector. We were just scientists and transports. We weren't meant for battle. I didn't sign up for this. They turned my friends against me by turning them into... I can't describe the horrors on that ship. We crashed into planet Mona in Sector Nero, a communications transference planet. Those who were stationed there rescued me, and when I blacked out, I awoken to being aboard the Ilphed ship. We have been traveling for who knows how long. Void travel and influence has destroyed our sense of time. The Ilphed want to use us in their quest against the galaxy, but especially the Empire and whatever that entails. Follow the signal coordinates for our latest position. For those who are picking up, it seems to repeat, but nothing is there, as though wherever it came from is from nothing. And now, turning it over to Eunji.
Hello, Eunji. We're going to do kind of a montage to kind of recap what happened in the last 2 episodes we played. Eunji speaks. We have served the Empire all our life. The Empire chose us, and we answered the call. We see a montage of Eunji's family celebrating in their tiny apartment, Eunji training in the academy, instructors and other initiates screaming in fear or turning comatose when Eunji uses her gift, commanders reprimanding her, her parents' last visit where her father is scolding her and her mother cries softly, not looking at her. As time passes, Eunji becomes more slumped, her eyes red and tired and slowly covering herself in her kimono more and more. We have given the Empire all of us, but we are not enough. Oh, we are too much. We had no place, no purpose the Empire could offer us. That is when the voices came. They whispered and screamed, derided and consoled. They spoke to us, and we listened. But before we lost ourselves in the sea of voices, a place at last for us was found. We see Eunji taking the transport to Sector Nero and meeting Sergeant Jamkins and Irons in the docking bay on planet Mona. We were given a purpose and a place. We were given a family. We see Jamkins assembling Irons, Jolenar, Sevens, Ruby, and Eunji and assigning them to Communications Estate A. A montage of the team working together. Ruby and Sevens arguing about Skip, Ruby's beloved drone companion. Everyone rolling their eyes at Iron's latest retro song collection. Jolenar sitting and eating with Eunji, telling her about his home. Iron storming into Eunji and Ruby's dorm to wake up Ruby in the middle of the day. Again. These were the first and only to open themselves willingly to us, to let us live almost as one of them. We see Ruby smiling at Eunji and offering her a Cheeto, making an orange mess all over her kimono sleeve. Irons allowing Eunji to touch the scars on his face, and having a moment to connect through the pain inflicted by the void on them both. In an elevator, we see Eunji bumping into Sevens, giving Eunji a glimpse of the horror and pain Sevens experienced before coming to Mona. En route in the APC, we see Jolenar offering his hand to her to bring her peace and calm in her moment of fear. It was almost good, until they came. Those that walk within the void, filled with malice, hate, and vengeance. Ilpheds. We see Jolenar and Ruby investigating the purple lightning sparking off the communications station as Sevens guards the door. The whole team hunkering down in the APC as the Omega Theta vessel crash lands on the planet. Eunji picking up the crystallized knife and seeing the Ilphed's attack, brutally crushing the crew of Omega Theta. We see the team fighting through the bloated, reanimated bodies to escape the ship. Finally, the gray-skinned face of Sergeant Jamkins aiming his laser pistol at Ruby. They came with the void. They rode upon its seeking wave. With twisted joy, they took him from us. We see a scene of Irons battling with Mildred, his shotgun, against the coagulation. Grabbing a grenade off a fallen soldier, he turns toward the group and commands them to run. As Jolenar grabs Eunji, Iron smiles at the coagulation and activates the grenade right inside of it. Eunji screams as she is carried off, and a multitude of other voices screaming rises with her own. Still, we fulfilled our duty to the Empire, even though it cost us everything. We see a scene of Sevens deftly shooting the pistol out of Jamkin's gray-skinned hand, saving Ruby. Jolenar grabbing him, and Ruby sending the signal to the Empire that planet Mona has fallen to the Ilphed. You better keep your promise, Ruby's voice shouts in Eunji's mind, echoed by many other dark voices. We fulfilled our duty, even though it cost us our future. Cost us what could have been. Eunji takes Jolenar's hand in hers as the Iron Commander enters with the Ilphed army. The Iron Commander being Iron's body, held together by the strange crystals, and Mildred his shotgun, now a part of his arm. Jolenar grabs Eunji's face and says, Krennis. Tears fall down Eunji's face as she knows the weight of Jolenar revealing his true name to her. She kisses him in that moment before the Ilphed can take them away, and sends to his mind her vision of what their life could have been together, returning to his home planet, making a home by that canyon he spoke of so often, and the final scene of her holding their first child on her hip as he heads off for the day's hunt with the sun rising over that red canyon. We have nothing now but the memory that never was. Now we are in the void, in a sea of hate and rage. The darker voices cannot be assuaged. Their screams of vengeance fill our every waking moment. We have fled from them as far as we can in this accursed void, the only place we have left, the home that never was. Sustained only by the strength of my husband. Now these monsters of the void ask for our aid in their thirst for revenge. The dark voices that swirl around us drool and cry for us to embrace this path and take from the Empire all that they took from us. But we still have our family here in this tormented place. We want to do what's best for them, but we are afraid. Where do their hearts hide in this swirling void? Where is the fire that burns so bright?
So Ruby is sitting on the floor of her old bunk room and cross-legged. She's a redhead, young redhead, freckles. She looks like herself. Her eyes are closed, and you hear children giggling around her and like having fun. You just hear that sound. And her room is actually clean for once. And she has all of her gear on her. And so then it goes in closer to her face. Her eyes open and fire flows around her as she stares and says, "You promised."
Where is the relentless wind, undaunted by the mountain standing in its way?
Sevens is standing in the corner, flicking a piece of metal between his fingers. But Sevens is not really a he, as she has removed her helmet, as it has been, who knows how long it has been, flicking a piece of metal with many marks on it, helmet under hand, and just staring at the floor. In Seven's mind, there is the little rage of the last battle. Then it flips backwards even more in time to her first deployment with her entire battalion, and she was the only one left. The screams, the fighting, the things that she saw, and then the commanders telling her that everything went as planned. And then she realized this is why she's here, to fight monsters. And she willingly accepts that and plans to destroy them all from within if need be.
Where is the water that once flowed with sweet songs and was always there to guide?
A stern expression is ever held on a pale face. The broken helmet reveals a single heavily scarred sky-blue eye, an eye that is always watching. No smile comes to his face, no song to his lips. All that seems to move are the colors of fuchsia and cyan within the indigo crystals that fuse the old Commander Irons to his armor and shotgun Mildred to make the new being the Iron Commander.
And where is the stalwart rock upon whose strength I have found my home?
And Jolenar comes in like he's coming through the door of the yurt, just kind of like pulling the door aside, coming in, almost like in the most tangible way, like he belongs in this sort of dream state with her. He's dressed very differently than you've seen him in his armor. His hair is longer, his kind of reddish skin is tanner, and he's dressed much more in earthy animal leathers and woven materials. Like he's just come back from a hunt, and he comes in and he looks at Eunji. Is a little bit quiet, but like kind of looking at her with concern as he puts some things down. And he says, "It is almost time for us to leave. The herds are moving. The rest of the tribe will be leaving. We have to go with them."
Eunji is holding her baby and kind of tucks it in tight. We do not think the baby can make it. He's not ready, not strong enough yet. Don't we have more time?
And he won't answer that. He'll just come over and just put his arms around her and kind of tilt his head down on top of hers. Not with as much room as you would think you would give somebody who was holding a baby, but very much like he is just holding her.
Here only in the Mind Palace, to Jolenar, Eunji will speak in first person, or in singular person, I should say. I'm afraid.
So am I, but you are strong, and I will not leave you.
There's so many voices calling. I'm worried they'll take the baby. He's not strong enough.
They will not take what we do not let them take.
I will try to trust you.
And he will take her hand and he will gently, if she will follow him, try to lead her out of the yurt.
I think she definitely follows, but she's holding the baby really tight and definitely lagging behind. And I think as we go out, for her, there's a swirl of voices shouting on either side. There's this path that Jolenar is wanting to take them on, and everywhere there's just these voices screaming and the sounds of the Ilphed amongst them. I think that might be a good spot to turn it over to Compass.
All right. Atheron was a planet that was rich in mining prospects. In the span of a year, a settlement was established which drew in great crowds and families looking to make their life a success story to pass down through the ages. Prosperity and wealth swept a generation with fanfare and good fortune. However, there was a major miscalculation. What was once thought a planet filled with precious ore and minerals was actually a pretty face in disguise. It was discovered that everything of worthwhile importance was surface deep, and the planet had nothing more to give. All further settling of the planet was cancelled, trade was calling it an end, and the vast troves of mining equipment now is little better than scrap. A mass exodus of people and supplies made made who remained to keep the settlement afloat with a skeleton crew of people on a world harsh and barren. However, a discovery within the extended mind of an ancient door within the extended mind was an ancient door into the unknown, which sparked interest, something maybe hope or dread. Most have taken this as dread, and a great deal of so few people have departed 5 days ago on the supply ship promising to return, if anything is there, after the return in some time. Those who stayed have discussed and argued about how to enact upon this discovery. Then yesterday afternoon, an Empire archaeologist stopped by demanding to inspect the discovery. She and her guard entered the mine and put an energy field around the entrance to stop others from following. The settlers decided to reconvene in the morning and decide what to do about the discovery and possible further implications. That, however, is where something they did not realize what was going to happen. For the actual characters, the actual crew, are now a part of them. As your targets are now one of you. You have enacted the void and are now influencing your fellow targets. The day has now started as you are all rising with whatever state you are now in. You look around. It takes a little bit to get used to, but you are now in a state where you can fully interact with your target. The target wants to go and meet at the bar, the common house. That is where the meeting is going to be held.
All right. So the battle plan is to influence the meeting at the common house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, and that's what we gotta do, and that's where we're gonna see everyone.
Yeah.
Definitely
So for
that way.
the Johnsons, you are right there. Maybe you even catch eyes with each other. You know that it's successful.
Is it as much control as we want to have, though? Because, like,
You chose
could we be able...
You chose your stage of control,
Yeah,
and you would just go based off of that.
okay.
But we can choose to mentally talk to each other, our characters, if at any point.
Yes.
Yeah,
As the Iron Commander said on the last episode, the last thing he said, "Welcome to the crew." You know, it has certain benefits.
Are you saying that to Pete, your target? Or are you talking to the rest of your actual crew?
I guess in a certain way he would say it to, he would think it to him. Welcome to the crew.
Okay. So y'all will be making your way to the common house. Which
as Bruce goes by to the common house, he's gonna pet the 6-legged turtle lizard creature with 2 tails.
as you get out and start moving your way to the common house, you do see Atheron, your long time pet of the settlement, lying there on the rock, sunbathing as he usually does. Does not seem bothered at all with you coming close to pet. Although, as soon as you touch Atheron, he looks Scruss directly into the eyes, which through your memory of Skrusk, that doesn't happen. And there's a flash in its eyes as it looks towards you. And it gets up from its rock and moves over to another rock.
Well, good morning to you, too. Don't worry, I'll be coming back for some of that venom later. I gotta make more. I go through it too much. Hey,
That
Betty.
is something that Jacob would say in character.
Hey, Betty, good morning. Good morning.
What's good about it?
We're alive, aren't we? Come on, Betty, you gotta come drink with me sometime.
Have some. Don't worry about it, but it's a little early, alright?
It's never too early.
I haven't even had my tea yet.
Don't worry. I got you the right stuff. Pulls out a bottle of moonshine. You can have some of this. It's gonna wake you up.
She'll hold over tea. Well, I suppose if you're adding it to the tea, we could go with that, but just a little bit. We got a meeting here.
Right. In Scrooge's mind, he's thinking about how he's going to switch the contents of the tea and the moonshine just to give her more moonshine than tea.
Just sit next to her, keep filling it up all meeting.
Yep. He opens the door for Betty.
Alright, you go
Thank
into
you,
the...
Skrusk.
As you open into the bar room area, the Hargraves have been hard at work trying to get a bunch of chairs, drinks ready, usually everyone's favorite meal and drink. They're trying to just get everyone comfortable. Definitely a look of grimace on their face, and they're just kind of pacing back and forth. They're very unison in that. They're definitely a pair that opposites do not attract. They are almost one and the same about how they interact with each other. When one calls upon the other one's able to finish whatever's going on.
I feel like this seating situation would be better.
So unless anyone starts it, I think Gideon will.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, listen up, people. We know that Empire archaeologist is down there in the mines. Alonzo, you've been dealing with that area. Think you know how long she'll be down there? You know from Alonzo's memory that it just takes about 2 hours to get to the location, and if she did follow your map, she'll probably be back soon if she didn't sleep.
She should be back soon. Yeah, they don't sleep. I'd like to know what she finds down there. I'm certain it will be good for us.
Well, that's what you keep on saying, isn't it?
I know it.
I'm starting to think the opposite now. We're getting all these Empire people to investigate.
That's a good
Settlement
sign.
is good sign. Good sign. They still haven't offered an agreement. We have 5 months left of just dealing with trade. After that, we could be dead.
No, never.
Good riddance.
Honestly, I'm half tempted to agree with Pete on this one because we got cactus juice here. We got everything we need to survive. At least have a good time about it.
Look, Skrusk, I understand you like to sell your cactus juice, outworld. I still am not buying from you if we lose that trade agreement.
Oh, it's not like you're gonna have much of a choice.
I don't like that one bit.
Come on, have another one.
Now, so I think we, as discussed before, we have a few options. I think we can either work with the Empire on this, we can leave like the others. Betty, you said you had some people? Anything with someone to trade with? I feel like we're running out of options on this.
Irons
Well-
would send a signal to Jolenar telepathically for that's the preference.
That they stay?
No, the third party, easier to influence.
What is our objective that we're trying to convince these people to do right now?
So at the moment, they are in the middle of discussions about this thing that they've discovered. However, they are not aware about it is drawing in outside forces. That is why you are here. Another force is
Right.
going to be coming in, not the Ilphed, but another one, primal, bestial, that is supposed to be arriving very soon.
And we want to prep them for that so they survive that.
Yes.
But whether or not they keep messing with this thing doesn't really have an impact on it, right?
As far as you're aware, yeah. Your entire
And
mission is
having
just to get
them
north.
leave wasn't something that we want. We kind of just want them to stay put and survive, right? And all this little politics stuff about who they trade with kind of like doesn't matter a lot, right?
Basically. It's just something that can get them through. Because any long-term deal you don't really care about, or at least the Ilphed don't.
Right. So, and Jolenar's approach is not really controlling Betty. It's just kind of letting Betty do what she wants, and he has sort of told her things, but isn't really directly controlling her and isn't like monologuing in her brain at all.
Okay.
So Betty would just be like, well, our list of people out here is getting pretty thin. We are pretty far down the line, but at the same time, we've come out here and we've made a good living for ourselves, and even if it's not a big thing, like Scrusk says, we're out here on our own. We're doing it. You know, I haven't gotten this far to just give up, and frankly, I'm not sure that I'm young enough to make it all the way back to the Empire, so where I put down roots is where I plan to stay.
You ain't that old woman.
I ain't as old as you.
Yeah, spits into whatever canteen there is over on the ground.
Listen to what Betty says. Sorry, go ahead.
You're all in agreement about this.
Oh, no, I benefit either way, however this plays out. Either we get new people to come in, either by the Empire, independent faction, or we all just left by ourselves and we set up whatever we want. I benefit no matter however this rolls.
Alright. Alright, let's do a raise of hands. Who says we should be getting out of here? He and his wife raised their hands the same. What about the rest of the characters?
Pete, in his normal obstinate fashion, would cross his arms and...
Alonzo's shaking his head.
Scruff giggles at the idea and takes another swig.
Ian goes
All
to
right.
raise his hand and then feels the need to put it back down.
Alright. Alright. Looks like we're staying. And, we're gonna have to deal with that. Alright, so. About this discovery. The ancient door that Alonzo found. But he was saying that was almost indestructible from what little he had. And had to find a way into it. I imagine that's what that Empire archaeologist is doing, whatever she's up to. Alright, so I think we have a few options then. We're not leaving. You're staying. We will be either now dealing with the Empire or trying to get someone else. I do know of a few people that maybe I can make connections with, but who am I kidding? All right, we're gonna be working with the Empire, aren't we? All right. He seems to be just trying to get more resigned to the idea. Even though he's an Empire pilot, retired Empire pilot, he just doesn't seem to want to get involved, probably because he just doesn't want to get back involved in the Empire politics. He came here for a reason. All right, working with the Empire again and again. All right.
Oh,
So this is-
here's the thing. And I know maybe I'm sort of interjecting where I shouldn't be. And maybe it's what Krusk's put in my tea, but I just think that this whole
never.
business. Oh, I mean, it's a compliment. Don't worry about that.
Oh, okay, yes, I did do that.
This whole thing about who we're trading with is, of course, important, and the Empire or whoever it is, but it might be a little premature to be putting a lot of effort into that right this minute. I've got a sort of feeling, and maybe it's the tea talking, but we might have some other things to worry about. It's a harsh world out here, and we maybe, if we're staying, should be looking out for our well-being out here.
What are you saying,
Don't
Betty?
quite. Yeah, I don't quite understand. This is the future of our settlement. Why shouldn't we be talking about this?
We need to buy time.
I
How
just got a
exactly are we gonna
feeling
buy time? You gonna
that,
trash some old equipment in front of their mine?
Yeah,
and,
but
like-
don't any of the rest of you get the idea that there's a storm coming? We gotta make sure we can weather that storm before we set up shop proper.
Storm.
I'm actually a little upset about that. I've been flying the skies for quite some time. I know a storm when I see one. I look.
Oh, don't be an idiot and think I mean a literal storm. These are my old bones talking. When I say a
Old,
storm, I
alright.
mean a storm.
And I thought you said that she wasn't old.
She must be older than me.
I know you've been through a lot. My understanding is you've been here since the start of the settlement, and
Been
Time.
longer than any of you.
yeah, that is true.
I object to that statement. I object to that.
Well, you don't count. You're hardly a person, Pete.
Scruss is laughing joyfully.
We
And
need,
every time she says something mean to Pete, you can tell it's because he's probably your favorite person.
we need to do more than survive, though. We need to thrive for the younger generation, to bring them back. And I think real quick, in our mental connections, Eunji's gonna shout out, Karanis, the voices want to crush his spirit. I can't do this. I can't do this. They're screaming. And she's like in their mind palace. She's like pulling against him and like holding the baby tight, trying to run back into the house. And everyone else can
Get up.
see that Alonzo's like.
Daddy's gonna get up
losing
and walk over and slap Alonzo in the face and say, pull it together. You're not helping anything.
it.
Yes, Dad, I've never seen you like this.
Yes.
Now, I'm sorry about that. That was probably a bit out of turn. But
He
No,
sits
he
down.
deserved it. He deserved it.
It's fine. No, you were right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
While Betty is busy with that, Scruss is putting more into her teacup and swirling it around. And it's just
Pete's,
Enjoy
until
it.
Pete's giggling with Skrusk while that's happening.
I think I had a dream. And I don't normally put a lot of stock in these, but I do think there's something coming what's going to threaten our little settlement here. And I ain't about to let stand by and let that happen. So I need y'all to man up and help me figure this out.
What do you suggest we do about this storm? There's so few of us left. Even if what is it something short term? When's this coming? The storm?
I don't really know, but I just had a bad feeling about it. I ain't discounting my bad feelings.
I felt it too. There's something
Yeah.
out there.
What about the rest of you?
nightmares. I just drank them away.
I think at this point Gideon is just gonna like shake his head and just go down a drink.
You're drinking the wrong stuff. Have some Mashine. They'll put your worries to rest.
Rhea will come up and start speaking in
Pete kind of
Gideon's place.
taps.
Go ahead.
Pete kind of taps his glass over at Skrusk and says, while Skrusk is pouring him some, says,
I came out this far to get away from the Empire. I ain't gonna be dealing with them none.
Yeah, they left their fancy pants shuttle. Is the pilot even around still? Can we actually ask questions? Is that even a thing we can do?
Are you saying this as Skrusk?
Yes.
Okay. I think Rhea will step up. Well, let's put this together. As my husband was saying, this is our one time to get away. As that archaeologist lady came in, she had her shuttle, and her bodyguard went into that mine. There's enough people on that shuttle for all of us. That's why we thought it could be a good way to get off this rock before anything bad would happen. And there is a storm brewing. Why should we stay? That seems more of a reason to go.
My livelihood's here. My beer is here.
We've all made establishments in one way or another. You've made your brewery. We've been keeping this bar running for quite some time.
You're welcome.
The Johnsons, they've been continuing the mining operations and the mechanical upkeep of this entire settlement. And of course, Pete, being able to account for everything that has been going on. And Betty, of course, leading the fray and the entirety of it. I just don't know. I just can't seem to find a reason to stay. We have friends on the outside. We can go to friends. You're seeming to indicate we're just going to have enemies here.
No one's saying you have to stay if you don't want to.
Well, we can't exactly leave until until she comes back. So
I was just gonna say, if you're gonna take the thing, I'm just gonna lie and say pirates came, kidnapped you guys, and took the ship. Out of cover for you. Don't worry, your bar's in good hands.
The idea of stealing from the Empire right now to escape the Empire doesn't seem that great of an idea.
Oh, it'll take them, what, weeks to get back here? Really? Honestly, and they won't remember a thing what happened, I promise you.
For those who are standing next to the windows, you do start to realize that the sky is getting slightly red.
I think I might drink too much and my eyes are bleeding.
Pete
Look
looks
outside.
not yet.
Okay, good. He takes another gulp and looks outside again.
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking around and such, you could give me a perception check.
Oh, yeah. Perception. Roll.
My
Wait,
word.
Our perception.
Ooh.
Well, there you
Okay.
All right, come on,
Well,
Skrusk.
Nice.
By the power of beer, I see all.
Looking outside, and I don't know, I guess you're used to scanning for any sort of details across everywhere. I mean, there's a reason why your brew is brew and not poison. You notice like a break in the clouds. Seemingly a large object is falling from the sky towards the planet.
Oh my word, there's a meteorite.
Especially if you're skill, it looks like it's moving, so it's a living object.
Oh wait, no, that's a meteorite with jet thrusters on it. Some shuttle is coming down here, and it looks like a rock. Yep, that's what it is. And with that, that sober assumption, he is going to sit up and walk outside to get a better look at it.
Alonzo's
All
probably
right.
going to run out too.
Ian too.
Yeah, Alonzo would keep Ian close.
Where Ian?
And as everybody's going out, Irons would send a mental message to Rose. Sabotage of the ship might be necessary to keep the Empire's agents on planet.
He means Ruby.
Ruby, yeah.
Ruby Rose.
I was like, I think that's me.
I did that last time too.
It's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, it's quite a distance away, but for those who are looking, you definitely see what Scruss is referencing to. I think Gideon will eventually go outside too.
Strauss will point it out for him. Are you
Yeah.
drunk enough to see it?
I'm just thinking who would. I think Pete, Gideon, and Betty would probably recognize it. So, from what your knowledge entails, these are a type of creature called Bloodjaws. They're creatures that are built, I guess you could say, of creatures. Their antibodies, everything about them is like a giant creature inside of a creature inside of a creature. And this is one of their ways of getting through space is to...
Turducken?
Okay, interesting. But
I love that
one
smile.
one of the ways that they're going through space is that this is a creature, their type of ship, that is supposed to crash into a planet and it will explode. And other creatures will, inside of it, will start swarming. From what you would know from your characters, well, your actual characters, this is the this is the beginning of their invasion.
Of the Ilphed?
That have a storm for you?
No, the ones who are coming before you. You weren't sure what they were, but now with your puppets memories, you now know what you're looking at.
Can I make an intelligence or some kind of skill check to determine how far away that thing is going to either crash or where it's ended up going to go?
You could give me an intelligence. Sure.
Roll. Okay. Yep. This is the correct course of action now.
The you're not quite sure, but at least from how far away it is, it might be a few hours.
Ah, that won't. Well, maybe it might.
Well, it'll be probably about 30 minutes before it crashes, and then maybe like a few hours before coming here, but you're not really sure beyond that.
Well, folks, I guess we have to go inside and stay there when that thing hits. Wait, no, we're a couple of hours away, so we should be fine. That dirt storm is not going to hit us. Nah, it's like he said something smart.
Can we try to reach out to the Empire and get behind that energy shield?
Of what?
The,
Irons would be curious if the void sense, whether through Eunji specifically or just in general, could reach out to ping if there was if the people inside were past that shield were actually still alive or conscious or anything like that.
With Eunji's powers, you could tell, but since y'all are, well, at least the question was brought up. Gideon is pulling out his military communications device and just trying to see if he can pick up anything. So he's doing that. Ian, you probably could fashion a device back in your shop to do enough amplification for his device to get through any sort of interference.
Yeah. I was just thinking of Ian can do something. Let me help you with that. He's gonna grab the communication device and head back to his room to work on it.
Okay. I think
How far out is our Ilphed faction from actually being at the planet?
Within teleportation range, it'll be by end of day. Well, this day
Okay,
anyway.
so they have to survive that long.
Yes.
Irons would relay that deadline, that timeline, to everybody mentally.
Okay.
The Iron Commander. But
Wait, that screws. Is the meeting over? Is the town meeting over now?
It seems to have, as people are trying to figure out what to be doing. The Hargraves are talking to each other, trying, kind of like in private. Y'all are just...
Bruce is going to scoot over to Pete. Hey, Pete.
What?
Hey, do you... underground, there's, like, no other tunnels that go out, right? Like, underneath your house, where all them dead people are?
gives them the side eye.
And if there was?
Well, I was thinking, like, we could use... If that thing actually is, like, a lot closer, because, you know, I do beer, I don't do... He looks up at the rock. Space rock science. If that thing gets closer to us and we're gonna get
Like
hit...
the Russian nesting dolls of teeth? Yeah.
Russian? What on earth are you talking about?
Continue on.
Oh, never mind, you're not from Earth, you wouldn't get it.
Yeah, obviously. Anyway, so I was thinking, your house has no windows in it, and it has a basement. So I was thinking we could go in and hide there if there's like a big old dust storm or something. Sound good? I'll bring the booze.
He puts up quotes.
Dust storm. Yeah. Alright. That sounds fine to me. I think it'd be safer inside that cave, but I don't know we can get in there.
We'd have to blast another way around or get some equipment to dig around that thing. Then it'd just be a waste. Because we just opened up another hole.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll go get the booze and I'll be right back.
Alright.
Run off to his house. As he like opens the door, he looks back over to the sunbathing lizard. What is the lizard doing?
The lizard is actually standing up, looking towards the object falling out of the sky, and just seems to be tracking it.
He's gonna whistle over to it, see if he can get his attention.
Give me some, like, a diplomacy, which I guess for Skruska, and just roll me a charisma.
Yep.
Alright. He kind of gives you, like, a quick side eye, but then looks right back to the object.
Well, as long as he acknowledged me, I'm gonna yell at it, "Hey, Pete's house is gonna be a safe place if you wanna go in there." And then with that, he's gonna go into the house.
Okay.
His booze.
For Ian, can you give me a mechanics check?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Correctable roll. Very roll.
So after just a few minutes of tinkering, you're able to hook it up to your amplifier, and you start going through the waves, and you do actually hear a communication that's going on. Seems to be in the middle of a conversation, probably between the archaeologist and her bodyguard. They're currently talking about how this could be a very big find, and this will get her exactly what she's looking for, and to be able to get her family out of the and getting out and back into the inner sphere of the Empire. And
Okay.
they are currently heading up, and they're just talking very casually.
So Ian is going to grab anything from his workstation that could help him. And then he's gonna run back to his dad
Okay.
and pull him aside, actually. Father.
Yes.
The archaeologist and the bodyguard. They have a big find down there.
He like takes a kind of a step back and puts his hand on Ian's shoulder. You're sure?
Yes, she said it. She said that she will get into the inner sphere of the Empire.
Then there's hope. Can you talk to them?
Father, this is your find. This is not theirs.
No, Ian. It does not matter as long as this home stays.
Bull hockey don't matter.
Pete's eavesdropping like he usually is.
You don't let them take your steak from you. What's the matter with you? What about all that let's do it for the kids stuff?
That is what I am doing. Betty. They found something down there.
Yeah.
It's good.
I don't know. I got a bad feeling about that too, honestly.
You got a bad feeling about everything.
Well, maybe I do. But, well, you know what? I'll level with 3 of you. I got that dream I was saying I had. Well, see, this runs in my family, so it ain't that odd. But my mother, my aunts, the women folk in our family have a sort of connection, you know, to the spiritual. And I reckon there's some dead boy trying to help me out here. Now, poor thing, I hate to break it to him, but I'm for sure he's dead. He doesn't seem to know it. But he's got a sort of feeling about what's going on here. He's trying to warn us. Only thing is that I think the thing he's trying to warn us about, he's also got a bad feeling about what comes after. Now, I don't know what to do about that, but I thought I'd tell you guys. I trust you.
Pete just rolls his eyes.
Dead people.
I think the heart
And I'm
rays
sorry for
come
slapping
out.
you. That was a bit much. But honestly, Alonzo.
Hey, Pete, I got the beer and the ale and the
Put
moonshine.
it in the mortuary area.
I'm on it.
My house is a safe haven. Starts. Come drink the apocalypse away.
Even if there are many storms coming, we have to ride out each of them.
That's true. I'm with you there.
This is an invasion. We aren't prepped for this.
But if there's something the Empire wants, they will protect it.
That's great. But if we're already dead and they've already overrun us, I don't see how the Empire's coming to our aid.
The Empire ain't coming to our aid. Even if they were being too slow and we ain't the priority. Now, Gideon, if you thought coming out here would be all goat ranching and cattle farms and easy crops, you had another thing coming. You knew what you were getting into when you either got sent out here or volunteered.
Well, I mean, I expected something, but not quite like this.
Oh, you didn't expect a flesh storm of teeth and claws coming to rip your little town apart? Welcome to the frontier.
Doesn't normally happen on the frontier. Whatever.
Kids these days.
You're all serious about staying.
I ain't got nowhere else to go.
Neither do I.
And how do we expect to fight? I don't have my gunship. Do any of you have military grade anything?
Well, this is about military grade anything. What'd I miss?
Oh, Gideon's wanting to fight and shoot some flesh stuff.
Not, but I mean, we are going to.
Pirates?
Yeah, when are we calling the pirate? The other people that buy the beer, the shine. When are we gonna call them?
Where's my other customers?
I'll let you know.
Wait.
I did call someone.
Spruce nods. Also, did anyone get that communication thing fixed? Because I was busy acquiring supplies.
Yes.
When he says that he called someone, Irons would want someone on the Ilphed side to be sweeping comms for what that communication was.
All right. You do get in a communication, which was encrypted. They're currently working on it.
And he's just gonna ask him, "Who'd you call?"
Well, I mean, there was more than one reason I left the Empire. Called some of the rebel faction. They're not bad people. They just want rights and better supply routes and just things to be able to survive.
You just thought you'd go ahead and make this call on your own. Who died and left you in charge? Because it wasn't me.
Look,
No one's gonna outlive her.
fully understand that you're in charge of this. I'm in charge of my family, and I'm gonna make sure they're safe.
Spruce looks Pete up and down. She's gonna outlive you for sure.
Shut up.
Takes a swig of the moonshine.
Has anyone seen the lizard Atheron? Where'd he go? I don't Pete's house is the safe place.
I don't know. He was on that rock over there. What? How's he? How's he in there?
He's currently in the force field.
Wait,
Atheron, what you doing in there?
Oh, that's
Bruce is
hilarious.
laughing as he walks over after Pete.
All right, but the rest of you, what are you doing about the communication device?
Well, real quick,
Well, I suppose what's done is done. That would be Betty's opinion.
when Gideon says that thing about family, there's gonna be a moment where Alonzo looks at Ian, and there's Eunji in her mind space hears him say family, and she looks towards Ruby, kind of like reaching out. So Ruby, you can feel her kind of reaching out, and you can maybe get a glimpse of her and Jolenar in that moment. And she's reaching out, wondering what you're thinking.
Why do you have a baby?
We are afraid. We don't know what to do. But we want to help our family.
Yeah, I want to help my family too. I need to get out of here. This is just between us.
Well, Sevens is gonna walk over to the two girls, and with single finger Knuckles taps both of them on the head.
Bit too much.
Us?
Yep, both of you.
Ow.
It's like, think. What are we here to do?
Live.
Mm-hmm. So, we need either that force field down, or we need Pete's house. I'd rather have the force field. So someone get on that comm, and ask them and tell them what is happening out here.
The object from space hits the ground. There's a bit of shaking. You know that you won't be hit by any sort of sandstorm, but you know that something's going to be moving now.
And with that, Seven says, because we're currently running out of time, or at least they are.
Yes.
So, to save them, and in a way, save ourselves and all of us, our families, do we agree to use this little thing that they have? And I guess you two have, because I'm enjoying myself currently. That to call those people down there and probably get some extra fire hands at least. I mean, they have to have guns on that ship. Sevens throws her hands up in the air and walks back over to the corner.
You wish to get home?
Yeah.
Eunji's gonna look to Jolenar. Just between the two of them, back in their mind palace. Hernandez.
Eunji.
I want to come with you. I just don't know if I'm strong enough.
You are. I know you are. What do you need from me?
I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know that the baby's strong enough to make it.
We are strong enough to make it. We will make it.
What do you want to
I
do?
will be with you. I will come for you in this life, in every life.
Think.
As
Yeah.
as
I
they're
think we're on the same
discussing,
vibe. Go ahead.
irons on the outside, people would see irons. Like anybody that looks at him would see irons, and his crystals have that swirl going on inside them. But he would be attempting to use this to, I guess, around Eunji. In the mind, on the outside, nothing necessarily happens. But inside the crystals, the cyan color becomes more dominant, and the fuchsia swirling with it. In the mind palace, there might have been this moment where just a little hue of cyan and fuchsia welled up around Eunji.
I think she closes her eyes and lets it swirl around her, and for when she closes her eyes for a moment, the baby actually disappears. And if Hrennis will offer his hand, she'll take his hand.
Yeah, I think he would probably be like have his hands kind of like gently on her face, and when she like closes her eyes and relaxes, just kind of like sort of gently stroke his fingers through her hair a little bit while she's just kind of taking that moment.
I think then we come back and we're with Sevens and Ruby and everyone. What do you need us to do?
Who's messing with the father? I can't remember which one is which.
Eunji.
Off the top of my head.
Yep.
Eunji.
And then Ruby has the
I
son.
was actually asking this out loud.
Oh.
I can't remember. Okay.
We hold the father.
Oh, I got the
father
son.
needs to make. The father needs to make the decision if he's going to call in to warn those people downstairs. Because that is what father or the Betty would do. Looks around, then remembers it's Jolenar and points to him when he talks about.
Could ask her. She's more concerned about the immediate people here. They are her people, but she would. I think
more guns.
I think
More guns, and possibly
Ian
another
can
way.
help with that. For sure.
Well, it's at least a plan.
We will move the father then.
As you were. He goes back leaning against the wall. Tapping fingers.
back on the planet, I think Alonso looks at Ian. And at Betty. I think we should reach out to them. There has to be something they have in the ship. The Empire never comes empty-handed.
Need everything we can get our hands on.
I can look.
That's for sure.
I'll go. And Ian's gonna run over to the ship to rifle through it.
Right now the ship is currently locked.
Notice he says right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ian will try to use some mechanical skills.
All right. Yeah, he's not much of an electronics guy, but mechanics, you can do something to get it open.
Couldn't he have some of Ruby's intuition to point him in the right direction?
What type of possession are you using?
Second
Again? You're
level.
using split.
Yeah,
Split,
split.
Okay. Yeah, so you could use her electronic skill.
Oh.
Oh, that's cool.
Where do I pull that up?
Under actors.
Look under the player's third level and then under Ruby.
Oh. There
That's
she
cool.
is. Okay.
Yeah, it's computers. Yeah, not electronics. There we go.
Computers. I will find
So
it.
Acheron ran further into down in the cave, I guess.
It looked that way.
There you go. The thing just ran off. I like that thing.
I did too. How do you think he got in there?
I don't know.
Where'd it go?
Wait,
So
doesn't that
Ruby-
also mean it's not safe down there?
So Ruby, it's gonna take a while, but you could get this open.
Okay. She's gonna. So, Ian's gonna come up there and be like, I don't know what to do. And then all of a sudden, he takes a pause and settles down and starts going at the. I'm assuming there's something to open the door. So,
Yeah, there's a console.
some console. So then start working on that.
That's awesome.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt y'all too, though.
No, you're good.
Oh, we were just messing around.
Yeah. But the thing is that Skrushk will. I know he doesn't have any of those skills, but he wants to look around to see how on earth Atheron either got underneath or phased through the force field. So that's
Might be the
survival.
best for. Yeah, it'd be either survival or perception, I guess. Survival would be easier DC though.
I will go with survival. It's based off of wisdom, right?
Yeah.
Okay, wisdom roll, go. 17 right there.
17? You mean 11?
Dice roll from me, it
That
was
was-
17. It went right over to 11.
Ah.
Yeah, looking around, you know, you don't notice anything about how the creature was able to get through.
The Iron Commander is keeping tabs on the ET as best he can on the ETA before the flesh storm gets here.
Okay.
Betty's
you
gonna.
know,
Sorry.
you know about maybe well, could you give me like some sort of like with the Iron Commander, give me some sort of tactics roll or some other justifiable lore check.
Okie dokie. Let me see what he's got. Intimidation, performance, religion, society, I guess it would be.
Society or warfare or nature, I guess.
Warfare. Oh, there's warfare. We'll do warfare.
Yeah, they're probably gonna be with about an hour. You're not exactly sure, but seems to be a safe bet.
ETA of 1 hour.
Sevens gives a sarcastic thumbs up.
So y'all are currently trying to go for the unlocking the shuttle and such, right?
Mm-hmm. Ian gave Alonzo the comms, though.
Comms.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, somebody better get on the horn with the people in the force field, because we gotta pick a place to hunker down here. Stat.
So Alonzo talking. Hello, can you hear me?
There's a voice that replies back. Yes, hello, yes, I hear you. How do you have this frequency?
Emergency.
Whatever. What were you calling about? Was it that shaking?
Yes, some kind of creature has crash landed on the planet. What is it, Betty? He holds the thing to Betty's face.
It's a scourge of death, and you better cooperate unless you want to die horribly.
Please.
Oh my word. Alright, so look at that. How do you want me to cooperate?
We need some kind of weapons. We need to be safe. Perhaps we could come behind that shield. Be able to survive whatever is coming.
Alright. Weapons. She seems to talk with someone else and then gets back. We do have a flamethrower in the vessel. It's meant more for getting rid of underbrush and whatnot, but it should work. Is that what you're looking for?
No, that is good. He looks at Betty. I think Ian and Scruss could maybe juice it up.
Yeah, that's one thing. What about their force fields? Their force field movable?
Is your force field movable? Can we use it?
I could deactivate it, but I could deactivate it. We are going to be up there. Give us 20 minutes and we'll be right up there.
Hurry, please.
All right.
Because you'll have 40 minutes after that before you die.
All right.
Scourge has a moment and just gets a tingle when he's mentioned for sprucing up a flamethrower. I haven't had that feeling in a long time.
All right. So at about 10 minutes, Ian, you're able to unlock the shuttle and able to get in.
Okay. He's gonna rummage. Try to find at least something that would make sense for a weapons closet.
Alonzo will run over a little and shout to Ian. They said there's a flamethrower in there or something. At least.
Yeah, with that piece of information, you're not going to have to roll. You start looking through and you're able to find the flamethrower. It's definitely not like the best condition, but it works. It has has 3 cartridges of fuel. You'll have to make more if you want beyond that.
Pete looks down and says, "There goes all the booze."
Yeah, but it wasn't my best batch. I mean, I could have done better. But yeah, we'll just use up all the booze. Might as well.
Wait, have you even tested how Acheron's venom is actually going to interact with flames?
With flames, no. With the human anatomy, yes.
But
I mean, it's particle. It's a liquid.
You do it over there.
Do what over there? Mix the
that
chemicals?
tinker. You do that over there. I'm going to be over here.
Behind the rock? Skirsk is laughing as he mutters that loudly for everyone to hear.
Ian's gonna hold out the flamethrower. Can I have help?
Skirsk looks at it in awe and wonder. Yes. Yes, you may, as he strokes it. Oh, wait, were you asking a serious question? Because I was, gonna hold this. We need fuel for this, right?
Yeah, I can work on that.
Come on, let's
Basically, you have 3 charges with it. If you want more, you would have to make it.
take it to your workshop and I'll get the booze. I'll get more of the booze. Atheron's venom could also work. I wonder what color that would make.
We're a mining town, right? We have explosives and we have gasoline and
You have the store that's kind of abandoned-ish.
Oh.
it's you have explosives and other things like that for what hasn't been sold off, so it's very little. But yeah, you do have like remnants of.
I'm gonna stay over here with the safer explosives.
I'm gonna stay in here with the explosives. Goes inside, lights a death stick. Keeps me calm.
Keeps me calm. We should see what we have in the supply room, in the supply store. Get it out. The scientist lady said she could turn the force field off and back on. Should we hunker down in there? Perhaps set some kind of barricade around, or maybe we could set traps.
Well, we're going to want the most defensible place. Let's assume that the force field only lasts for so long and then it fails, or, supposing that the energy signature actually tracks them and they leech off it till it dies, and then we'll only have whatever we've left around us to defend us until we're just shooting them out of the holes as they're crawling in, and we hope we can do it before we run out of time.
Shut up, old woman! You need to get working.
You want to do something useful, you come by my place and you can pull out the stuff. I come out here without a man. I come out here without shotguns.
All right.
Curse, alone with Ian, passes him some booze. This will help.
To make something with, or what is this?
You drink that one, then you use the rest for chemicals.
Oh, I have
Don't
been told
worry.
never to drink.
It's only a 50-50. I lied, it's 75.
Ruby take over.
Yes, Ruby's like, we need a shot right now. And then all of a sudden he just downs it.
That's my boy! Smacks his back real hard. That's it. You can't die dry. Can't
Okay.
die dry.
We got this.
Yeah! Now you're wide awake.
So is he making the cartridges then for the extra ones? I guess,
I
Ian?
believe.
Yeah, Ian, you can give me a crafting, and Skrusk, you can give me an alcohol lore.
Okay. Yes!
Oh!
So
Look at
you'll
that.
get 3 additional cartridges.
That's 6.
Hey,
Sweet.
Awesome.
for those who would be in sight of the mine, you see 3 figures come out of it. Atheron, of course, and then a younger looking woman with her Empire bodyguard. She goes over to the force field and deactivates it, picks up the device.
Picks up the device generating the force field.
Mm-hmm.
Alonzo
She's just
will
kind of
run
like
to them.
looking around, just taking in what's going on. Definitely a little
So-
bit more shock.
Based on what the Ilphed are, the information that the Ilphed are giving the Iron Commander, they're all going to be attracted to this thing that's
Yes.
inside there, right?
Yes.
If we leave it open to them, is that going to serve the purpose? Like, is that going to give them what they want, or is it just attracting them?
It will, if the signal is coming from there, so it's probably going to give them a it would, if you leave it undefended, your mission will be a failure.
Okay.
Mm.
He's going to relay that to everybody, that the preferred place to defend is the mine. That it will be. It's also technically the safest place because it has more defense,
Mm-hmm.
more rock defense than the rest of it.
Mm.
So
When Irons is done, Sevens pipes up. Isn't that place like the door they found? She air quotes. That door thing is like 2 hours away from the entrance, right?
Yeah.
So,
But that's a walking space.
right. So, we can find a better place in there to use the force field. And then guard that location.
We should probably go in as far as we can, right?
Yeah, that's probably the best course for them, at least.
Could we
From
use the ship?
Alonzo's memories, you know that because he's the one who's had to been mining all of it, getting to that point, the most narrow part is probably at the end because he's been, personally mining, trying to find something to keep this rock afloat.
The father knows that at the end it is narrowest.
Well, that's good to know.
What if we use the
And
ship
would be the most...
to block the entrance?
Well, that would at least buy some time. How much, I don't know.
Do you not want the ship safe?
Rebels are coming, right?
Yeah, there's people coming.
Irons will state rather monotonely, yes, there are people coming. And you could tell he's more indicating that we're coming.
Yeah. Well, the walking dead body isn't wrong. Anyway, I guess the father needs to tell those people that'd probably be a good place to hold up. Excuse me, I gotta try out this shot thing Spruce has been making. Goes back over to the corner. Spruce immediately downs a shot. Not even out of character.
Very well. We will whisper to him.
Jolenar will look at Ruby, be like, it would be helpful to have the extra barrier if we want to save these people. If we want there to be people when we get there.
Yeah. You promised too, Jolenar. And Ruby's gonna sit down on the floor and close her eyes.
I think Eunji real quick when everyone's checked back into their puppets.
Checking in.
Before they go, she'll look at Jolenar. We will get them away, won't we?
Yes, I believe we will.
I miss Irons.
How are you doing? I do not know what we can do for him. But he is still with us. We must take that as hope.
Yes. Sometimes we can still hear him singing.
Maybe there will be a time when you should focus your speaking to him to see if you can call him out to come with us. If the time comes, you will know.
We will try. There's a quick shot in the Mind Palace where the baby's back in Eunji's arm and she just looks out over that canyon at the swirling colors. And then back to Alonzo. We need to get into the tunnels. I think we should go as deep in as far in. Talking to the scientist.
She takes a little bit and then it's like, I have a shuttle. Let's get out of here.
We cannot leave. They will destroy
Why not?
everything. We must keep what's down there safe, yes?
Yes, I suppose yes. That does make a lot of sense.
Then we must do everything we can. It gets narrowest near the door. We could put the force field there. That would be funneled in. Perhaps we could even use the ship to block this entrance up here.
Okay. Yes. Word. I think her bodyguard indicates for her to look at something, and it's like, yes, okay, good. We have a SOS going out. Hopefully they know I'm here. All right. She collects herself. All right. It's for Alonzo. Do you get him to roll a charisma roll or some sort of diplomacy?
Certainly.
You have deception.
He's not deceiving.
Okay, Betty, you need any crap out of your
Quick look
office
at-
or
this might be
anything?
a split control moment.
Oh, okay.
Check Eunji.
That's a Betty.
Yeah, you need any crap out of your office?
Diplomacy.
Of course I do. Got lots of stuff stockpiled there. At this point, bring whatever you can find. Never bothered to put most of it away. Should be sitting in the main room.
Okay.
Helpful as ever.
If you're okay with
Just
it,
wanders over that way, get her stuff.
if you're okay with it, Compass, I'll do a split control moment where Eunji is resonating out, using her psychic energy to kind of influence the scientist.
Go right ahead.
Alright. Oh dear. Very cool. Okay.
Sadly, we have no hero points.
So your words land, and they do seem to calm her down a little bit more. And he's like, all right, if we are going to do this, then we are going to make this right.
What do
The
you
ship
mean?
is still our only escape. If can't just throw it into the tunnel, is there any other paths out of there? Something that we can use.
Betty
the
will
ship
be
in?
coming by, dragging like a crate of probably like explosives and like a shotgun sticking out of it, and be like, well, I suppose the ship being your only way off only matters if you're still alive. Otherwise there's things like radios and calling for help with your pretty little discovery and your pretty little face. Of course, that don't matter if you're dead and your discovery is a pile of trash.
Roll diplomacy? Question mark.
That is how Betty does diplomacy.
We all know how she does it.
Oh right, sorry.
Yeah, roll diplomacy.
Yeah, somebody roll diplomacy for me.
Oh,
Better!
Sacrificing the shuttle, that doesn't make any sense. Where can we put it though?
Okay, so at this point, Betty will just grab the shotgun and point it at her. And be like, you're wasting time, girl.
I think that's when the bodyguard will interject himself, and he'll point his gun at you.
Bruce comes around as soon as Betty begins doing that, sees what's going on, hides around the corner.
That's perfect.
Betty will take a step up right to the barrel of his gun and be like, what do you gotta say?
Please, we should not be killing each other. Death is coming. Let us stop it.
Bruce moves all the way back to Ian. Ian,
For
boy, come on.
Alonzo and Betty,
What?
you can roll perceptions, or your characters can roll perceptions.
Ian, Betty's about to waste someone. We gotta go watch this.
Okay, here we go.
Nice.
All right.
Okay.
Come on, bring the flamethrower.
Okay, I think you have it.
Well,
I have the cartridges.
Okay,
At
I'll
this
get
point,
ahead of stuff.
so Alonzo,
Around the corner.
you notice, like looking at Emmy, something changes in her. Like it almost like her eyes like almost maybe even her soul just seems to just put on a mask. It's like, yes, we're going to use the shuttle and we're going to block the tunnel.
Okay. Thank you.
Crush
Do I
does
sense
have
any-
his fingers in frustration.
Alonzo's gonna be kind of
Irons.
tapping Betty a little too.
Iron Commander, you notice another connection. You another one using the influencer. It's definitely not on the list of anyone should be doing that.
Is it void presence or is it another type of presence?
It's void.
You
feel even another connection in the in your telepathy, but no one's speaking.
Irons would not immediately inform the rest of the group, because Sevens, if Seven senses a weakness in Iron, she's likely to kill him. So he would not immediately inform it, but he would cautiously start to try the mental boundaries of that and reach out to kind of probe slightly on the strength of that connection and who the intentions of it.
Okay. So in the moment though, she is going to send her bodyguard to go get the shuttle and start making a blockage into the tunnel.
Okay.
We should be heading inside.
Betty will keep dragging her crate as they kind of disperse, and she'll just keep dragging it, and she'll be like, point out to everybody really loudly to the at the girl, watch this one, she's stupid, she's probably gonna be a liability.
We missed
I think that
the chance for Betty to waste someone.
Ian's gonna head to the ship too to take a ride.
Oh yeah.
He feels like he strongly needs to take a ride with this guy.
All right, he's just gonna be quick about it, but he's gonna show you the rope. Skrusk, when you get closer, the scientist just does a quick nod at you, and just moves into the tunnel.
Skrusk smiles.
The perception for Pete was to find all of the stuff Betty would want from her office.
Ah. Betty, is
I
there
have
anything
something big.
that you would want Pete to be getting?
Pete is welcome to get whatever he wants. Betty's office is set up like somebody made a hobo camp inside a house.
But she does have a nice library.
Yes.
Yeah.
Obvious.
But like her crates and stuff, she just kind of keeps. Ever since she's moved in, the stuff has been in crates, and the crate sort of serves as furniture.
I love it.
Okay. He gathers up some stuff on like a little wagon or something like that. So as he's doing that, Iron senses in Pete that he's doing it and stuff like that. And Pete, the personality of Pete pops up real quick when there's a picture that he sees on the desk. It's a little to the back, but it's still there. It's a picture of Betty and Pete when they were younger, first coming to the settlement. And he picks it up and he makes sure to put it in with the rest of the stuff.
I love it.
And then
That's
he goes
awesome.
out, takes his wagon.
That was back when they were first getting their gray hairs.
That doesn't make it a day. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, that's so good. Would Eunji be aware of the void presence in the scientist?
If she is paying attention to it, she could notice it. I was mentioning it to the Iron Commander because he's
Right.
kind of part of that.
I don't know that she would be aware. She's aware of what Alonzo noticed, so that might make her reach out.
Okay. Give me Yuji could use an occult roll.
Okay. I think it's only because Alonzo noticed.
All you really get, it was from your location. Like, from Eunji's location.
Mm. And she would know it's void as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Alonzo would try to get a second with Betty when the scientist lady is out of earshot.
Yeah, she seems to be out of earshot. She went in.
Russ is going in behind her.
Pete looks at the pilot and his bartender wife and says, "Wow, sure got a lot of help from y'all getting stuff in."
They're a little bit more flabbergasted, but they're just like, just wait somewhere and it'll help.
Hey, Betty.
They,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead now.
he would just point him to the storage shack and say, "Explosives? Anything? Weapons? Yeah."
All right, fine. We'll get them.
Gotta tell these young snappers everything. Come on, Atheron.
He follows you.
I love that so much. Betty, something is weird about that lady. Something... I don't know, something changed. She was not listening to us. Her face... I didn't like it.
She is a weird one. She's the Empire type, though. Can't discount that.
I suppose. I think we should keep an eye on her, though.
Oh, I agree. I don't reckon she's gonna do anything terribly helpful for us. Seems as she can't listen to reason. She's just gonna cause problems. Of course, that doesn't mean we can lock her outside her own force field and let her die to slow him down. As much as that does appeal to me.
Pete, just out of earshot, yells, "Why?"
All right. Well, I hope we can do this.
We can do this. I ain't losing one of my kids.
Where is Ian? Speaking of.
Yeah,
When-
I think
Losing kids.
He's drinking. He's
so-
flying planes.
He's pulling a slugger.
Yeah.
yeah, they're
Woo!
going up and around, and they're going to be moving into position.
I thought you were
okay.
going to say drunkenly.
Hargraves are going to be coming back, and
He's not like
with
Ian
all they can
Drive.
carry with bags,
He's like, just sit there and watch.
and they're going to land. Or,
So when
as soon
the-
close as they can.
When the "I'm not going to lose one of my kids" statement is said, is that connected to everybody? Like everybody on the mental connection can hear that?
That actually... interesting. I think that is... It could be, but it's not like super loud because it's a very equal sentiment between both characters. Like Betty is totally voluntarily saying that.
Mm.
But it's also very much a sentiment that Jolenar feels.
So that would actually make it more powerful.
Potentially, yeah.
I mean, it would probably resonate with Eunji because of the family aspect too.
Eunji would probably, well, maybe everybody in this particular mental connection might feel a swell of something, a swell of something, some familiar thing, almost like a tone or a note.
Nice. I like
Cool.
it.
Right. So y'all head
Seven's
into
gonna put on her helmet and then just hit Iron's shuffle button for music.
I love that.
What music comes up?
For the shuffle button on this particular situation, let's see. Crazy Train.
Yep.
Love it.
That is us. We go.
So y'all, what's it? You get the ship as close as you can to the edge, and probably with a little bit more manual effort, especially with like the different hover carts and whatnot. You're able to kind of squeeze it more into the entrance.
If
Then-
he points it towards the entrance, Ruby will take over and just jam it forward. So it's gonna slam in so that they'll be able to get out, because it'll be like, pilot head in first into the tunnel, but
Okay.
slam it in there.
He's seems upset. He's not speaking any words, but he just looks at you. You could tell he's glaring daggers.
It seemed like a good idea at the time.
He shakes his head and just smashes the window, grabs you, throws you through, jumps himself.
Yep.
You could definitely tell he was doing that to get you through safely, but maybe a little bit of frustration in there too.
Sounds accurate.
So you get inside, and I think that's where it could be kind of interesting. So well, because this is the first time that you get to see. So Ruby with Ian going in, you come up to the others and you see someone there, and it's almost like your soul heartbeat skips a drop as you recognize your sister. She has grown quite a bit, probably in her late college years, and she is standing right before you.
How are you here?
She looks at you very strangely. What are you
Missed
talking
you.
about?
Iron's
don't
is
know who
actively
you
trying to
are.
get her to back into control.
I've missed you.
You don't know this woman. Get in control. Focus. You are Ian.
Irons and Eunji, you do realize that whatever was holding her is now gone. Seems like she's just left by herself. Like whatever it was, there was a very short-term connection to her, and now the connection's disconnected.
What was that?
She's just looking very confused, looking around, and guess we're going in, aren't we? I still have the force field.
So this is the
We
scientist? I just want to clarify. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
the archaeologist.
Okay.
From Ruby, from what you can probably tell, she is definitely forging credentials and is working her way to try to get something big when she really shouldn't be.
Perfect.
Sisters in crime.
Yes.
Says
It
Ruby
makes
like
perfect
proud.
sense about why she's doing it, but again, why is she doing this? But I think it'll be a good time to be wrapping up. Is there any last things you're going to be doing though? Because you will not be able to see what happens in the fights, but you can prepare for it in whatever ways you can.
Mm.
I think we'd
So-
want to. Oh, go ahead.
Betty would want to make, as the tunnel goes down, just probably lines of different kinds of explosives, not necessarily to the degree that will close the cavern off, although the very last line might be one that does just that.
Okay.
And she'll get Pete to help her with that.
Pete would be helping her. He said, "Yeah, here, I made sure to grab this." And he shoved the picture over at her while he was working on something.
She'll take it and she'll kind of look at him and be like, "You're not getting sentimental, are you?"
Well, you know, they say it happens in old age. That's it.
We ain't that old. All the same. Don't go dying and taking away my competition, outlive you. She kind of gives you a little punch and goes back to like laying her explosives.
Yeah, Scrooge is going to just be toting that flamethrower and keep it going. If Betty's doing that, he doesn't need to be using his ability, because she's doing the exact same thing.
I think maybe Alonzo and Ian are setting things up at the final stand there, making sure whatever weapons we have fully loaded, any extra ammunition in range, crates and rocks, or any scrap metal that's down there, kind of making into a barricade.
But yeah, and then Ruby will reach out to Eunji. My family's here.
What do you mean?
My sister. She's here.
How?
Oh no. You know how we are. She's here.
Getting into trouble.
You
And if you wanted
promised.
to, I called her Emmy.
Emmy,
But
I love
it's
it.
up to you.
I love
That's
it.
great.
Emmy's here. You promised, Eunji.
I think it's gonna go. Unji's just like looking right at Ruby and trying to say something. And going into the Mind Palace, she looks at Hrenis and says, "Did you hear that?"
I did.
I don't know if we can save them all. She's gonna look down in the babies in her arm again. Not strong enough.
He's gonna look at her really intently, kind of like almost start to say something and then stop a couple times. And he's gonna say, "I think we can save them. Even if it is just them. If this is not our life, I promise you all the others."
She's gonna cry. Tears are coming down a little, and I think she's gonna look out, kind of rest against Grannis, and look out over the canyon and start to hear, I think, that note again.
Sevens looks to Iron, almost disappointed. Even through the helmet, you can just tell that the gaze is just that of disappointment. And it's just tapping, and she's tapping her fingers. Does Irons do anything in response?
Irons would see the gaze, probably look, and is she still playing her music? Playing the music?
Oh yeah, the music's still playing. It's still on shuffle.
The music stops, and you see the swirls in the crystals on him turn cyan, and it starts playing Renegade.
Sevens walks over to Eunji. Eunji, do you know why they're gonna live? And why we're gonna live?
Why?
Because I want you to answer this one question. Who is going there right now to save them?
She actually smiles a little bit. We are.
Exactly. That is exactly right. If we're there, we make a difference. We're there, we save lives. And we will do our absolute best to save every single one of them. You hear me?
We hear you. And she's as she says that too, she looks over at Jolenar. We hear you.
He would echo that. Just kind of with a nod. And you can
Nah.
kind of tell that Jolenar's, like, conceptualization of his fate is almost completely tied to where Eunji thinks hers is. So if she thinks she's not going to make it, he's resigned to not make it. If she thinks she can make it, he's going to fight with that. So, like, he's completely in step with her on that one.
I think then Eunji will look back at Sevens again. We thank you.
Sevens nods. We got a couple hours before we're there to save them all. And we already helped them out greatly. Now let's get there, and we'll finish the job and save them all.
She'll look at Ruby and try to smile. And then look back at Jolenar again and repeat what Seven said and what Jolenar said. We will save them all.
As you command, my love.
Nice.
Does Jolenar say that out loud for everyone to hear?
Yeah.
Sevens looks over to Jolenar. I still have to get used to that. Just say that. Shakes head and walks back over to the speaker system and enjoys the music.
All right. In the next short amount of time, you hear the swarm come traps detonate. They come to your position. Flamethrower, gun, grenade. They are like a swarm of three-legged, huge mauled creatures trying to come upon your location. You start fighting back against them for some time, but it just seems endless. And finally, you're getting to the point of the time allotment, and you feel like your soul is slipping from the body as the body continues fighting on. And as if one last thing, you start to notice the door behind them begin to open. And that is where we'll leave it.
Ah,
I'm so excited.
that was great, you guys.
Mhm.
Thank you. Nice. I don't know what to say. It's just awesome.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, this has been another fantastical episode of the AV Epochs Livestream, an Avenue Studios production. Do give us a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to follow the adventure. You can further support us and become a part of the ever-growing force known as Avenue Studios by joining our locals or Patreon community. Special shout out to Lulu, our newest member of the force. Thank you so much, Lulu, for joining the family. You not only gain access to exclusive content and our private Discord, but also our private Discord where you can chat with us, play games, watch movies, which we've got Galaxy Quest coming up this month for Sci-Fi July very soon. I'm excited about that. This Saturday. So get in now, join us. It'll be a great time. And check the links in the description below for sound, music, and ambience that we use, Foundry Virtual Tabletop, and the Starfinder 2nd Edition community-made Discord. Join them. Thank you again to Mart and the whole playtesting group there for letting us utilize the system. Thank you to Mr. Moral Compass for running it very much. And of course, Adam, my good friend, where can people find and support you?
Well, they could check out theiopc.com or inofplanarcrossroads.com if they want to check out all the links. But mainly, if they want to support either one of us, they can do so through Patreon or locals and direct contact with us. So there you go.
Beautiful. Awesome. Alex, Avon, thank you so much for joining. You guys are awesome. And we will pick this story up next Wednesday and see if we can save them all. Until then, thank you for joining this adventure, and we will see you next time. All right, bye.